All right, y'all. This is Doc back for a second video. This time we're going to talk about Beyond Real, and it's issue 1 and issue 2. So I wanted to start with issue 1, and it's from Vault Comics. It's written by Zach Kaplan with art by Fabiano Mascalo and Tony Vajula. Colorist is Jordi Belair and Tony Vajula. And Hassan Otsman Elhal is the letterer again. Man is doing every book. So at the very top of the opening image here, it says life is an illusion. And we open up to a couple, Eli and June, who are sitting underneath the stars talking about life and how large it is and whether there's any meaning to it. And they're talking about it, and at the bottom it says, June asks Eli, are you sure you're not programmed to think that you care about me? And he said, this definitely feels real. And so they're talking about her dad saying that if she didn't get a real job, quote unquote real job, that he was going to stop helping her pay for her rent and things like that. And she's frustrated, and she said, you know, I don't want to talk about it. And at the end of the third page, looks like we have an accident. And so June and Eli are in this terrible accident, and I can't really show you the next few pages because it's got some nudity on it, but they're in the hospital together, and Eli tells her to keep fighting. And they end up doing a lumbar puncture on her, and then she falls asleep. And she's just laying there in pain in the hospital bed. She's having memories, and she's remembering her childhood. She's remembering her life with Eli. She's remembering that she wants to see Eli again. And we move on to the next page, and it shows that she woke up from her lumbar puncture, but there was a brain bleed on Eli, and so he is trapped there, kind of in a comatose state. So she has to go home to an empty bed. Not because her man doesn't love her, but because she needs to go home, get some rest, so that she can be strong and keep fighting for him and fighting for them. And she thinks to herself, she says, the world feels weird. I'm changing the wall with my hands. Or I'll be at home and suddenly the room will bend and warp. I'll see people on the other side of the wall. So she talks to a doctor, she talks to a psychiatrist, and then she talks to a medium. And they all, they all give her different answers. The doctor says, don't push yourself too hard. Psychiatrist says, I'm sure it's nothing. Put those troubling emotions out of your mind. And then the medium says, let spirits dictate your path. And it's like she can hear what people are thinking. It's almost like being inside the Matrix and outside of the Matrix at the same time, and she just doesn't know how to contend with that. And so she wants to run away. And she runs away, but it seems like this skeleton-type creature is following her, and she said, what do you want from me? Just leave me alone. Leave me alone. And so she goes to therapy, and she throws a chair against a wall, trying to say that, I can manipulate the world around me. I can control this wall. It can bend. I can shatter this wall. And then again, later that night, she just wants it to stop. She wants to get her life back. She wants to be with her boyfriend. She wants to have that life that they had before this accident. And all of a sudden, it shows gateway timeout error. So it's like she's talking to a giant computer. And she says, at least you could show me a face of some kind. Let me know who I'm talking to. So then this creepy face shows up. And it says, your code is corrupted. Do you want to initiate repair? And she says, no, I don't want to initiate repair on myself. I want to repair him. And they said you can only control, your controls are limited to form, from objects. And they said you must talk to the administrator who is over creator rights. And she says, I don't like people telling me what to do, so don't tell me that this is going to be dangerous. If I can find the source, I can save him. And all of a sudden, she finds herself in this giant computerized world. And they told her before she went into this world that if she was caught and she was unauthorized, that they would kill her. And so that's how the first issue ends. Second issue, pardon me for just a minute while I open this up. Second issue is by the same team. And it kind of goes back to previously, where she's an art student. And I said, what are you drawing? And she said, here, let me give you a closer look. So now we go back into the computer world. She can talk to people. This person's asking for her help. I don't know where I'm at. And all of a sudden, they found the corrupted code. And they killed that person. So it's just her trying to navigate this computer world to find where she needs to be to save her boyfriend. And it said, did you come here to get out? This is the way to get out. It's very trippy in the art style. It definitely gives you a different world set than what you're used to seeing. It seems like the world is extremely malleable. It can be changed by thought. It can be changed by physical force. It can be changed by a bunch of different ways. You just have to know how to manipulate those forces in order to create the world that you want it to be. So they ended up meeting survivors, her and her friend Dawn. So it's Jude and Dawn, and they've met Rishi. And Rishi is kind of the lead of this band of misfits that is trying to get out of here. They've been trapped in this world for they don't know how long, and they don't know how to get out. And so they decide, you see these towers, so we need to go up. If we go up, then we can find the source, and we can find the administrator, and then we can get out of here. And you can find the source code that you need to save your fiancé. So all of a sudden they're surrounded and attacked by these antibodies, I guess we'll call them. And it says corruption detected, unauthorized, and so it's trying to kill them. It's trying to neutralize them within the system. And again, she gets angry and she just destroys one of those cops' antibodies. Somebody said, you destroyed the antibody. You were not supposed to be able to do that. And she said, well, I am good at breaking the rules. And it kind of goes into a real trippy art style here where it just kind of rotates around back to the front of the page. They decide to jump because that is the only direction that they can go. They thought they were going to go up, but they had to go down. So it says to be continued. So the second issue, the art is still extremely kinetic, and it just gives off. This series really hits you when you have a significant other that you want to spend your life with. It really hits you that, if I fail at this, I'll die. And he'll never wake up, and he'll never know what happened to me. But by the same token, if she succeeds, then she at least has the chance. She has an opportunity to save him. I didn't like the second issue as much as the first, simply because she was in that computer world the entire time. And I understand that's what you have to do to move the story forward, because that is where the changes that she needs to make are going to happen in that computer world that will affect the real world. So I understand that you have to use one issue for that, but depending upon whether it's a 5 or 6 issue story, there might have been time to do that in that one issue, but if they don't move it along and progress the storyline in issue 3, then they're going to run out of time to really show the human element of these issues. And that's really what drew me in with issue 1, was the human element, the love between Eli and June that allowed them to be so good together, that allowed this relationship to feel real and organic, and you cared whether or not she was able to save him. Because I've read stories before where I didn't care whether the main character was able to succeed in his or her mission or not. But here you care, because you say, this is a couple that really loves each other, and she will go to the ends of the earth for him. So I'm excited to see what happens in issue 3. I just hope that we get some more plot progression, rather than being stuck simply in that computer world. We need to see whether Eli's getting better or whether he's just staying the same. We need to see if there's any outside forces acting on Eli while she is in this state. So hopefully it will continue to get better with issue 3. I can't wait for it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. I will see you in the next video.